The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this or any broadcast belong solely to our guests or our hosts. These broadcasts do not represent or reflect the views of their employers, sponsors, or affiliated organizations.
Welcome to the Flipboard EDU podcast with your host, William Jeffrey, where we collaborate, communicate, and educate with the greatest educators in the world on Flipboard. Let's start the show.
Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey. And when thinking about the makeup of K-12 schools, teachers, students, and principals might come to mind first. Too often, the forgotten soldiers of education are the librarians. These unsung, multi-skilled individuals are sometimes the backbone of a school. During COVID-19, these specialized educators faced tremendous adversity as they were forced to advocate for literacy via video conferences or socially distanced library visits. In this episode, we speak with Melanie Hodges, Ann Arnold, and Tiffany Achu. These remarkable librarians speak to us about obstacles they faced and figured out for virtual support for remote learning, virtual makerspaces, and curbside library book checkouts. We also discuss the challenges and triumphs that COVID-19 has presented the library as well as their profession. Lastly, we speak about the power of a PLN and how it strengthened our guest effectiveness in their schools. So like we always do about this time, let's collaborate, communicate, and educate with the best educators in the world right here on Flipboard EDU Podcast. Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey, and I have some amazing guests here tonight. I'm going to start off with Melanie Hodges. I have Ann Arnold, and I have Miss Tiffany Achu, and all of these lovely ladies are amazing librarians. I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we're going to do is we're going to start with introductions. I want to start with Ann. No, I'm not. I'm going to start with Melanie because I told Melanie I was going to start off first. So, hey, Melanie, let's tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself.
I am an elementary school librarian. I have been a librarian for 17 years. And this year, I have been teaching kids face-to-face and virtually. So it's been a crazy year.
Excellent. And I'm going to go next with Ann. Ann, you're next. Tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself.
I'm also an elementary librarian. I haven't been doing it quite as long. I've only been doing it 13 years. I started off the year virtual, and then we went back to campus, and I became a full-time rotation librarian. So I had kids all day long throughout the day, and I only serviced my online kids with a curbside checkout. My online students had a different librarian at a different campus for day-to-day instruction.
Excellent. And last but not least, Tiffany Achu, tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself.
I probably am a newbie librarian compared to them because I've been a librarian since 2017, so ending my 4th year. I have 9 years in 3rd grade, and then I was a digital learning specialist for about 3 or 4 years. So total 15 years, 16 years, that whole 0 your first year. I don't like that. But I got my 15-year pin from my district. So that's, I guess, officially 15 years in education, even though the math doesn't add up. But
yes.
And I am an fully online librarian in the library, art, music, and PE outclass rotation right now. We're servicing 3 campuses.
Wow. Amazing. You see what they do with the new librarians? They stack them up. Okay. I'm going to start off with you, Melanie. Melanie, this has been a year for the ages for me. How has it been for you?
Tiring. It's been a lot. There's been a lot on our plates. Every day is something new. I, like Tiffany and Ann, I started out completely virtual, came back to school. I was face-to-face, and my online kids were also getting instruction from another librarian. And then that changed. And now I'm pushing in and not part of the outclass rotation, but in a co-teach situation. Also troubleshooting tech. Oh my gosh. Working with co-teaching with teachers. Our teachers, as much as we thought we had done for them before all the pandemic hit, is we really learned where our holes were as far as blended learning and technology. So this year has been a very technology heavy year. And it's been probably more so than ever before. Very tech heavy.
So when we say tech heavy, I'm going to go to Ann. I know Tiffany is excited. I'm going to get to her and just say.
Agreeing with what she was saying, all of that.
Yeah. Hey, Ann, I remember you from back in the day when I was working as a digital learning specialist, Melanie as well, but I didn't really work with Melanie, but I remember how efficient you were as a librarian. I was always impressed with the way you guys were, just the way you guys did things. So how has this year been for you?
I agree with crazy. It's been very busy. At the beginning of this school year, I was working about 80 to 90 hour weeks, doing my lessons with kids, but then helping teachers set things up and helping parents troubleshoot and helping staff members troubleshoot. We have parents contact a teacher at 9 p.m. and they call me. And I was up quite a lot, especially at the beginning of the year, doing all of that. So I think for all of us this year, I can say we had all of our stuff really well down. We were good. It was the holes, like Melanie was speaking about. It's the holes that we had to fill in. This was only my second year on the campus I was at. The first year is when we went home with COVID. And so I didn't have that foundation with the teachers, and I didn't have that relationship really where they knew they could just come and trust me and everything. And I really think this kind of sped that process up because they knew they could count on me if they needed help with anything, whether it was library, whether it was technology, whether it was a parent having an issue, and we just hop on Zoom or something and get it all figured out. It's definitely been an interesting year as far as books, because I'm a firm believer. I like having a book in my hand. I want that book. I want my kids to have a book. And this year with all the technology, it's great. And we did get kids some really awesome books, but I don't know how much budget money was spent on ebooks. And my concern is making sure the kids still have that love for a real book in their hand and still want that feel. And I only have a couple pages left. I want to read it. So for me, once we came back, that was really my focus, trying to get the kids to get a real book. But that was challenges in itself because the kids couldn't go get books off the shelf on their own because of COVID. So we were having to pull books for the children, which is never as good as them doing it. And then we were also having to pull books for students that were at home. So we were doing curbside pickup, which was very hard for someone on Outclass. And I ended up having to have my front office ladies take care of that portion of it. So I think that, like I said, crazy year, crazy busy. And I think that really a lot of people on my campus that I probably would not have normally asked to help out, I had to. So that was hard for me. And as a librarian, I'd been doing it for a while. I knew what I was doing. I wasn't worried about it. And more than once, I had to call up these two ladies and say, what am I doing next week? Because I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And the kids are bored. The kids don't like this anymore. So there was a big learning curve in the making sure the kids stayed interested, because the things I was interested in and I thought they would love, they were like, meh, it's okay. So I think as the year went on, it definitely got a lot better, but it was definitely crazy.
So I want to go with my good friend, Tiffany Achu. Tiffany is somebody who I give a hard time to out of great respect. Tiffany and I used to work as digital learning specialists, and they paired her as my mentor. And so Tiffany used to go around and make me do her work. And while she worked on other work, but she was always working. Let me not shame my good friend. She's a very hard worker and very efficient. And so my good friend, Tiffany, how has this pandemic?
It's been a learning opportunities. One of our former digital learning specialists would say it's an opportunity when we get these different situations, but we really had to learn and adapt. And we were giving parent trainings, teachers trainings. Like we pretty much had to teach everyone how to use our learning management system so that the students could still learn. And it's just been, for me, it's been tough a little bit here and there because I'm basically talking to a screen like I am now. And I feel like I'm a YouTuber at some point because I'm animated dancing around, and I haven't done too much with the paint or stickers or seen people put that on there. But I have been a little silly and joke around with the kiddos, but it's hard when they're all muted and you're seeing some of the students. The younger kiddos are always, they're quick to have their cameras on, but just getting everyone familiar. And I think Ann and Melanie were saying like they did know that the teachers knew how to use our learning management system, but they knew the surface. They weren't deep into it. And so we had to go deep and try to also focus on the basics. Hey, maybe they weren't using WeVideo but teaching them, reminding them, how do you do things in Schoology, refreshing their memory about, hey, Office 365 is a great program, just keeping those evergreen tools that the district purchase for us and getting them familiar while also familiarizing them with the ebooks that we have. And the district kind of came out with different programs that makes it easier for the kids to log in. So that's been helpful. But yeah, just refreshing their memories, and also some hand holding one-on-one time with some less advanced or pick up. But for the most part, the teachers, they know, and the students and some of the parents at the beginning, they reached out to who they felt knew and who was more knowledgeable. And typically it was the librarians. But I would not be the librarian that I am today without these two. I was very lucky to be able to work with them when I was a digital learning specialist with their campuses. And they were both always willing to learn new things. And then I became a librarian and I'm like, okay, now it's your turn to teach me. Help me, please. And they became my PLN. We had group text, we had emails. We've expanded our PLN. We have a couple other librarians who we've all work together. One of them happens to be actually my I'm sharing a library right now with another librarian in the district. But we're being rebuilt. Sorry, our school is being rebuilt. But so that's also been very fun and challenging as well. Besides all the pandemic, we also got cohabitated. So it's been I don't even think crazy, it defines it very well. It's been very chaotic, but without these ladies, and I wouldn't have survived. So they definitely lifted me up, and we all had a little complaining session here and there, but it's get it off our chests and we're done. But we can move on and continue with our lives and try to just get through the year.
Tiffany, anybody who knows Tiffany knows that she's a people person. And so I know that you getting in front of a screen is very hard for you because I just know your personality. You mentioned something about a PLN, and Melanie, this question is geared towards you. Before COVID, did you have an active PLN, and did that PLN get more active after COVID?
Yes and no. Like Tiffany said, she had been our DLS, and I've been in the district a long time as a librarian. Like I said before, I started off rotation with the full-time aide and then on rotation with the full-time aide and lost the aide. And I used to have when I started, I had a technology specialist on my campus every day. So things have really evolved. Over the past, I would say about 4 years, Tiffany and Ann and I have worked pretty closely together. I've seen the librarians that I used to consider my go-tos have really changed over the years as the job has changed, because I needed someone. I know how to tell a kid to get a book. I know how to help a kid find a book, and I know how to help a kid research a topic. But really that technology portion of it, Tiffany was instrumental in helping me learn and continue to learn and grow as a librarian. So over the past year, especially Tiffany and Ann, and then two of our other librarians, we've really gotten very close. And that has allowed me to also take on more of a mentorship role with some of the younger librarians. I know Ann and I both have officially been mentoring two ladies, each of us a different lady who's going through library school right now. And so all the things that we each bring to the table, I can just say it's just made me a better. And I will say, and I have to just little brag if that's okay. This year we had 10 or 12 librarians nominated for Teacher of the Year across the district, and including the three of us. And some of us actually were Teacher of the Year for our campuses. So I think that's really a testament to everything that our librarians have done this year. Amazing,
amazing. And you were one of the ones who Tiffany used to mention a lot. I remember back in the day, she'd be happy to go to your campus. How has did your PLN grow much after the pandemic?
Definitely. I like to do things by myself. I like to think I can handle everything, because in the library, you're isolated. Nobody really gets what you do except other librarians, and your teammates, they have their whole little world. But library, I'm not just doing my librarian job. I'm doing a DLS job. I'm doing a librarian aide job. And yes, I fix lots of computers in the day. So I do all of these things. And for me, I would do them by myself. I would talk to a couple of the librarians when we had our meetings and everything. But I would never, hey, I'm got to do a lesson on this. Hey, do you have ideas about this? Things like that. Just that wasn't my style. I don't think without Tiffany, honestly, I'd have the PLN I have, because she's, hey, you're going to join this and we're going to all talk. And I'm like, okay, because I trust Tiffany. Whatever Tiffany says, I'm on board. Let's go. Yeah. And I'd known Melanie. We'd been librarians together like 10 years, but we talk and, hey, how's it going? But in the past 2 years, she and I think have gotten much, much closer. And I credit Tiffany with that. And I don't know where I'd be without these two ladies, because even if it's just, can you believe the same kid came with the same problem with the computer today, and all I had to do was restart it? Like, even if it's something like that, they get it, they understand it because they're living it, or they're living a version of it. And so that, I think, is what's really helped me get through it. We don't have a very big PLN, which to me, I think is more comfortable. The district has created a big group chat type thing, and it's too overwhelming for me. There's too many people with opinions and too many things. Oh,
actually, I think I created those chats.
I believe that. I believe Tiffany started that.
In the beginning, we were all like, what do? There was a lot of, you're doing these campuses and this campus, and it's, oh my goodness. And I think maybe it started something, and then it evolved into the face-to-face librarians are together, the online librarians are together. But I think I started both of them, or maybe at least the online one, because I've been online the whole time. You need that. I totally took over. I'm sorry.
Well, keep talking now.
And I do feel bad. There are some other librarians, and I'm not going to invite anyone else. I'm not trying to be a mean girl or anything. 5 is a good enough amount. But if people want help, I will totally help them. Other librarians, you come to know who you can trust, know who's going to have, like, I know Ann is good with scheduling. I know Melanie's great with book recommendations. They both are. There's certain things that you get to know them, and you're like, okay, who can I ask about schedules? Ann helped me with scheduling. I'm also the team leader. And part of the reason why I think we all formed a PLN is just because we all have a lot of same job titles. We're all librarians. We're broadcast sponsors. We're coding club sponsors. We are the technology integration champions, which is pretty much, we don't fix the computers. They think we do, but we don't. We're not supposed to. But Ann said, simplest little things, restarting. It's just, you gravitate to the people who lift you up and who listen to you, who offer suggestions, and you value their opinion and their knowledge, and you just work from it. And then also from another standpoint, like hey, I want to do this and this, or what do you think about this idea? And then we can build on it. And then it's, oh yeah, that's great. And then it's an amazing lesson that the kids all are excited about and want to do. Yeah. Okay.
And that's another thing. And I remember, not only did you always have a plan, Tiffany, but you made sure that lessons were given out to kids that they were able to grasp what you were talking about. And every time you went, you made sure that your lessons were impeccable. And that's one thing that I can say that I picked up from you as a professional is that you need to be concerned with the learning intention and the success criteria that a student needs in order to be successful, to gain that knowledge that you're trying to get from them. So I really appreciate you at doing that. And I also just want to go back to you, Tiffany. So you guys turned into educational coaches. So do you think your background as a digital learning specialist helped that transition, or was it something else? Was it your classroom teacher experience? What do you think was the best?
Actually, it's been a culmination of almost all the jobs that I've had, having that classroom experience, having the digital learning experience. And then we did that coaching cycle. Being a TIC, they've expanded it a little bit more. And actually, I just was texting Ann and Melanie and our other two librarian friends today. I said, hey, do you guys have any coaching books? Because next year, our school is small, so I'm not going to be needed in the library, art, music, PE outclass rotation. So I'm going to be off the rotation. So Melanie's had experience. I think Ann has as well. Our other friend, Melissa, she also is currently off of the rotation. No, she's online, but she has been. So I've been like talking with them and seeing, but you could definitely implement that coaching cycle with the teachers attending the professional learning communities that they have with their grade levels and trying to, I lost my train of thought, go through and teach those skills within what they're learning. They're learning about animals. We don't want to necessarily say, okay, here's research, but they can go in and create a video, create a Flipgrid, do something that kind of integrates the technology, doing a little discussion question or something to teach it in real time. It's not necessarily, oh, here's how you do a discovery board builder, or here's how you do a wee video. Here's how you do look up using our Pebble Go. Or so you teach it while it's being taught in the classroom, and it goes along with what they're learning. And we've been talking about that. And it's hard for us to do that when we're on the rotation, teaching the kids, and maybe, yeah, we were watching while during their planning times, the teachers are all planning. And so I'm super excited about that. And I will be definitely reaching out to these ladies, probably a lot more than what I already do now.
I just have to say, I just want to piggyback on what Tiffany was saying right there. It's all about point of need. That's one of the things, and I have had this conversation so many times. It's impossible to teach a skill really well in isolation. Whether you're talking about kids or whether you're talking about adults, it doesn't matter. It's all at point of need. And I think this year, going back to the whole pandemic of it, everything has been at point of need. And those things and those skills that we taught our teachers and our kids as a lesson or as a PD in the past 2 or 3 years, they taught it. We knew we taught it, but now all of a sudden they needed it. And it has been so much more deeply ingrained. They are taking it and utilizing it and going with it. And when you look at being able to teach off of the rotation and being able to truly collaborate with your teachers, plan with your teachers, be part of their PLCs, then those kids get a much more authentic, relevant experience than they do if they're just getting it in isolation. So I think it's really important, like I said, for adults and kids. We all know that.
Gotcha. Hey, Ann, are you a part of the PLC rotation at your school as well?
I don't get to attend the meetings. No, I have to watch the teachers' kids that go to the meetings. I did talk to my admin. Obviously, this year is a little bit hard for them. And so I asked for next year, maybe if I can't go to all of them, but maybe if they could get someone to cover my kids for like once a semester, not once in 9 weeks or once a month when they're starting a new unit or something like that. Because I really feel like the expertise I have is really important. My campus is not really, they didn't use a lot of tech. We didn't have a lot of devices on campus. So even if they'd wanted to, they wouldn't have been able to. When I got there, there were 2 laptop carts. I was shocked. I just knew they were going to have a ton of devices. And Jeffrey, actually, I spent the first month teaching 3rd, 4th, and 5th how to log on to their email with an old PowerPoint that you had given me. No joke. I really do still have it.
Wow.
And it hits on what Melanie was saying. I tried to explain to the teachers why it was important and how they could work on projects and then email the projects to the teachers. And there wasn't a lot of buy-in. And then we had to go home and then we had to do it on Schoology. And at that point, when I started teaching the kids and started talking to the teachers about it, everybody was really listening. And I totally respect the teachers. It's not where they were at yet. And I get that completely. But they didn't have the devices. And now that we had the devices, everybody was so much more open to learning and seeing what was going on. And so I really feel if I can get in those PLC meetings, I could be really valuable to them, because when teachers are coming to pick up their kids, they're thinking about the next 5 things that they've got to get done. Or when they're dropping them off, they're thinking of the 15 things they got to get done, plus try to go to the bathroom. So it's not a great time to try to catch them. So what I like to do is look at what the curriculum is coming up for them and then say, hey, I see you're about to cover this. We could do this, and I could show them a little bit of background so they know before you get started. And everybody's been really appreciative of that. But I feel like what Tiffany was saying and Melanie was saying, if I could get more into that classroom, I think it would be a lot more powerful. But I'm all for baby steps. I'll happily go into a PLC and show the teachers how to do it, and maybe even record some videos for them to play for the kids. Because if nothing else out of this whole thing, I think the kids are more willing to try stuff with tech. And I think that parents and teachers are more willing to try stuff and let their kids try. Because overall, I think it's turned out really well. I'm proud of all of us here. I can say that for sure. And most of the teachers I know, while it's been hard, the kids are starting to really thrive and they're showing what they know. And I think those PLCs are super important. And I think it's important for librarians to get in there. And I think that if we could, that growth would be just exponential.
Sorry, I'm going to ask a question. And I'm hoping that it's not true, but do you think that next year when it's more, and I know my teachers at our campuses, they still have been using Schoology, even though they're face-to-face, we'll have the kids do it. I'm just hoping it doesn't drop off when we go back next year. Like, I want them to continue to be using it, because if they stop, then they're going to forget, oh, how did I do that? You know what I mean? Because I don't use every tool every day. And one of the teachers that I was talking to was like, oh, Discovery Education, Board Builder. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great tool. I forgot about that tool because we don't use it every day, but it's a wonderful, powerful tool that the kids can use, and everyone has access to it.
I have a teacher. She is a 2nd grade teacher this year. She taught 1st grade forever. Our 2nd graders came back and they are on 1-to-1 with a laptop. And the best thing that ever happened to that teacher was putting her in 2nd grade and having her kids have to use devices. because she's going back to first grade next year. And she came to me last week and she said, Melanie, I cannot go back to teaching first grade the way I've taught it all these years.
That's awesome.
I have to have devices. I have to be able to do this. Can you help me? Can you make this happen in my classroom? Because she's worried about some of the other teachers as well, maybe not being as receptive. And I said, absolutely, we will make this happen. I will help you. We will lead the way. And it just made my heart so happy. I was like, oh, I think I'm not going to lie. There are some teachers who they walk back into the classroom, they put the devices away. So we're not touching those again this year. And I know Ann had the same thing happen, but I will say probably on my campus, more than half my teachers are really seeing the value in blended learning, and that combination of that face-to-face and technology and the power that it has behind it. And I am so excited. I am so excited to see what these teachers do next year when it's not in a crisis situation.
That's awesome.
No, and I completely agree with that, because even now, most of my teachers are still using it, even if it's just, hey, your homework can be found there, because they don't want to have to run off the copies. Communicating with parents. Parents always know where to find stuff. If a kid is out, they can go there and look to see what to do. So I think overall, it's made a lot of things easier for teachers. I have a lot of my teachers I've done trainings on that are doing their center time through it, because the kids can do a response with Flipgrid. They can make a wee video on a book they just read. They can do a report if they want on a board builder. They have these options. And I think that's really been fun for the kids, because now it's not just write this report. They have so many other tools they can use to get the same job accomplished. So I think amazing. My teachers have a lot of buy-in.
That's amazing. Great.
Tiffany, the funny thing about it was I was going to ask you that same question that you asked.
I am 100%. I'm super excited to be able to be back on campus. When I go there, I don't go every day, but I am, because there's so many things to do here or at home and whatever. But it's just that interaction with adults is very critical. The PE coach and I, once a week, we get together. We don't live far away from each other, and we get together. We just have like adult talking time. And most of the time it's about work, but it's still just that interaction with people. And then we're getting a new building. So all the fun activities and things that hopefully the majority of the COVID restrictions might be gone, but who knows? We never know what's going to happen with that. But just getting the kids and being able to do more hands-on stuff, like I was big, and these ladies also do it too, but maker spaces where the kids get to build things and touch and share blocks and work together on certain things. And just the Dash robot, we have Dash robots, and they've been just sitting in a storage container all year. And I hope they still work, because it's just, they don't get to do all that fun stuff, and kids learn hands-on, and you give them challenges. And I'm so excited to go back and be with the kids. And even though I won't see them every day for out class, but I'll still be seeing them when I'm collaborating with their teachers, and them getting to come into the library and doing some type of activity or lesson. I'm excited about that.
I like to throw out this statistic, and it really makes me look smart. And I got to find where I get it at. But 70% of the jobs that second graders will be working in haven't even been created yet. And there are some teachers, and it's unfortunate, and I'm not really knocking those teachers who are resistant to change or slow to change. I want to say resistant. I'll say slow, because when you get immersed, like we were baptized into the COVID era, where you immediately had to become an expert in technology, know how to fix a computer, know how to teach with a computer, know how to grade assignments. That can be overwhelming if that's something that you haven't prepared yourself for. But we need people like you all to prepare students for the future that they're going to go into. And so I just commend you ladies for the hard work that you do. I know of each and every last one of your works just through Tiffany, because Tiffany is in my PLN. For those who don't know, she is a connector, and I've told her for years that she would make an amazing principal, simply because the way she connects faculty and staff. If there's a problem, Tiffany is going to find a way to get people talking on how to solve it. And I love that about her. And then she's very super duper organized as well. So I know she probably keeps you guys running like she used to keep us running.
My type A personality, sometimes I'm not OCD, but my type A, I'm very type A personality.
That's good. You've named it type A. That's good.
She's awesome, because I get these ideas, like I get let's do this. And Tiffany's, okay, but let's look at it this way. And
yeah, that is Tiffany.
It's great too, because even we can have a little meeting now that we've gotten more used to like virtually meeting. It's nice too, because you be like, hey, you got 5 minutes to talk this out with me versus, hey, let's talk at our next librarian meeting or our TIC meeting about this and this. And it's, hey, I'm gonna just call you real quick with the phone, but there's still the video part of it, because you can, hey, I'm going to share my screen and see this, and can, versus, hey, let me email this when you get a chance. Can you look at it? And it's like instant, we can communicate. But yeah, thank you for the compliment. My head will not fit out the door. I'm
pretty sure it'll shrink.
I didn't hear you. I'm going to have to listen to this.
It'll shrink back down, trust me. So Melanie, this is the last question for tonight. Melanie, what would you like to see stay after the pandemic?
Really, I think, and I said it before, I really want to see that the technology is a daily part of our kids' lives. The blended learning, it's so powerful. And I think a lot of teachers are worried that technology is going to take the place of that human contact. And that's why the ones that are hesitant to do it, they're worried that the kids aren't getting enough daily interaction, face-to-face human contact. But I don't see that at all. I really think that the being able to have that combination, working on stations, giving the kids choices, a huge focus. You mentioned success criteria, learning intentions earlier. Student ownership of learning is huge, and technology is the perfect way to give these kids a voice, to let them own, to let them show at a pace that works for them, giving them just the choices, the variety, the power behind it. And I really hope that our teachers continue to embrace that.
And what about you?
I think the collaboration between teachers, between me and teachers, between teachers and kids, between kids with each other, I just really think this has made it such an easy tool. Like my kids are doing WeVideo projects together, not because I told them they needed to. I introduced WeVideo to them and they took it upon themselves to start creating videos together. And they're making a project and a product that they want to make. A lot of the teachers, you might not have everybody that's got complete comfortableness with technology, but if you have one person on that team that is, they can collaborate with everybody else. And okay, I know you're a little worried, but I can put this in Schoology and your kids can do it. And it just keeps that willingness for people to want to continue to talk, because it's not only just about making things easier. It's about, like what they were saying earlier with Tiffany, Melanie, we have this idea. How can I make this idea work? Yes, it's a great idea, but you have to think about this and this. And I think even if it's a video chat, or a lot of those walls have now been taken down because you don't really have very many excuses for why you can't meet. And I think the collaboration is such a key thing. A lot of us have had to do like meetings and because of the TIC and the things that we're in, but I'm seeing a lot more where teachers are catching each other.
Sorry, that was my chair.
Oh.
Yeah, I will. I hope it didn't happen while she was talking. But all right, so Tiffany, what would you like to see stay?
Honestly, I really like exactly what they said. They took my answers, but being able to see the teachers collaborate and me getting to collaborate with them, the communication part of it with the students and the students collaborating as well. And then just educating everyone. And I don't know if you caught that, but collaborate, communicate, and educate. I love that of your podcast. But that's what we do. That's what librarians do. We collaborate with everyone, parents, teachers, principals. My principals come to me all the time. Hey, what do you think about this? And I know the same for Melanie and Anne's principals as well. We're communicating and teaching students how to communicate and create. That's another. We need to throw create in there, I think. But getting them to be creative and to think about it, and all these tools that we have available and that they've been using. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that all continuing and being able to communicate to someone face to face. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to.
I would like to thank you ladies so much. But before you go, I need to read just a quick statement. Restream is a live video broadcasting platform that allows you to broadcast to 30 plus social networks at the same time. With multiple broadcasts on different platforms, Restream has enabled millions of people around the world with the ability to engage and monetize their audiences. Choose from classics like Twitch or Facebook Live, or go ahead and experiment with new streaming services such as YouNow or Twitter Moments for even greater chances that your message will be seen by whoever wants it. So give Restream a try today. Start your free trial. And you can click on the link for the Flipboard EDU podcast for a discount. So if you are interested in live streaming, my suggestion is to try Restream. Ladies, thank you very much for coming on the show. This is a really great time. I really appreciate you. I'm glad to see you ladies are doing well through this pandemic, and I wish you much health, and thank you again for coming on the show. Flipboard fam, it is now time for Flip Tips. How do I share an article on the web from Flipboard? You can share all the great stories you find on Flipboard.com in several ways. You can share to your friends you follow on Flipboard or share via email. And you can even share to Facebook or Twitter. You can even copy the Flip It link to paste it elsewhere. To share stories to others from Flipboard.com, you would need to tap on the share envelope on the article. On the next screen, share the story via email or another friend on Flipboard, as well as Facebook and Twitter. In addition to sharing individual stories, you can share a whole magazine you have added or are curating on Flipboard too. To share a magazine with others from Flipboard.com, you need to go to your profile page, tap on the magazine tab, then click the share icon while viewing the magazine cover from the inside of the magazine itself. Choose the option that you wish to share to, and voila, you have shared like a pro on Flipboard. Till next time, family.
Subscribe to our Flipboard EDU podcast magazine.
Flipboard fam, thanks for sticking with me on this episode. I want to thank Melanie Hodges and Arnold and Tiffany Chu for taking the time to talk with us about being a librarian and COVID-19. You can read more about this episode and other educators on the Educators blog on Flipboard.com. I also want to thank Aileen Laylor and Crystal Vanderboom for the editorials on the Flip EDU Educators blog found on Flipboard. Remember, subscribe to our Flipboard EDU magazine on Flipboard.com. Please follow and share our podcast with an educator or colleague. Our podcast is available globally and everywhere you listen to podcasts for free. So until next time, family.